Okay. And this one, obviously, I'm not stressed. You know, I'm not Amy right now. I'm not Amy or Amara. Either way you want to call her. I'm not Amy or Amara right now. You know, so. But I'm trying to make a part in my hair right now. Make it look all cute and shit. I'm like, oh, it's cute. Anyways, um, if you hear anything weird, it's because I'm right next to an elementary school, so it is what it is. I will be smoking in this one because I do smoke weed. Um, so yeah, where do I start? I guess I was talking to myself about right now. Um, like sissy crossdressers, the different types and whatnot. And like in the sissy crossdresser community, how it kind of works, and I'm kind of noticing this. Um, so in the sissy crossdresser community, you have like a lot of guys that are just really into, like realistically in the community, like what's actually going on. I mean, a lot of you just keep it straight. It's gay sex. Like they're gay. The guys that are into sissy crossdressers and all that shit, they're gay. Now, not all of them. It's not an entirety of things. But when I say that, only because the thing about it is, the thing about sissy crossdressers is they might have one part of them or two parts or a couple parts or something in them, right, that makes their crossdressing stand out, right? I can think of a few things based off of crossdressers I'm attracted to that I know are crossdressers, like in real life, you know. Um, this is one guy. I've seen some porn, sites or whatever. He's posted some like sissy cross-dressing content, and like he has man boobs, but they're so like thick, you know, and voluptuous that like they look like real boobs. At least he can make them look like real boobs in his cross-dressing. Um, and also body. Like the more half naked you are, you know what I mean. The more naked you are, and the more that a body part looks attractive. I don't even want to say feminine, but attractive. It's like that's what indicates that femaleness for you, and makes these guys that are in love with sissy crossdressers like goon over you. But it's weird sometimes when it comes to gender, because choosing a sissy crossdresser is not always, but for most parts, is a sexual thing. So it's like a lot of it sometimes can be distorted, or distorted. What am I trying to say here? Basically, I'm saying like you have some crossdressers that are only into it for the fetish. Like they're guys that just get off on the idea of, what I'm saying, like sissy, girly bimbo-ness. But at the same time, since they embody it, they can watch themselves, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I told you already. They can watch themselves be that in which they're attracted to. And so that's a lot of the fetish, that's how the fetish kind of like goes. But a lot of times, some people sometimes are like that. Some males just are like that. And so if you have some males, right, in the crossdresser community that are gender fluid, and this is how they express themselves in that gender sexually, then that's what that is. You get what I'm saying? So there's that aspect to it too. So that brings me to the point of saying it brings me to the point of saying that it's like where do I start? It's just that like, and then there's videos, right, of this guy who, and he even has videos, right, where he doesn't have like really good makeup on. It looks kind of lackluster. There's even when he has makeup on and he has a beard, and that's what I'm saying. Like it's weird like that when you're sexually attracted to somebody sometimes, right? You kind of have this marriage like quality in you that kind of accepts them for who they are after a while. Once you kind of like know you're attracted to somebody, you know what I mean? You kind of just you don't really care if they have like a mustache or they grow a beard or you know what I mean? Like it's weird like that. I don't know how to explain it, but I know what I'm talking about. You ever had sex with somebody and they go through life, you're going through life, they change a little bit here and there. Not really, but of course from the original, you know how they looked before. There's a hell of mosquitoes out here. It's the third mosquito that bit me right now. Mosquito. This is too many mosquitoes. And for the middle of the day, and it's windy, to have mosquitoes come up and try to bite you, that's crazy. This is why when I stopped being homeless, because like you can't be homeless out here like this. This is bad. This is really, really, really bad. Like they're constantly. This is the third mosquito. It's trying to bite me on the shoulder right now. It's ridiculous. Anyways, so yeah, so that's kind of the situation for me right now. It's like being a Sissy Crossdresser, I just noticed like, and I only said because I just posted a video for you guys. Just a little twerk session, just me twerking. I just wanted to see how I look in these sexy, because I've never really wore sexy lingerie before. You know what I mean? Cross-dressing wise, and this is my first time, being able to do that. So I was doing it, and I was like, okay, let me just see how I look. Do I look cute? Do I look really hot? Like, how do I look? And man, the amount of men, I have people that are like, oh my god, like within like days, 110 fucking views on a video. I've never had 110 views on a video. All of a sudden, I have 110 videos on a video just because I'm just showing you my ass with me while we wearing a thong. It's just weird. It's like, what the fuck? But, right, it's the same compilation of the video that I had took before. Why didn't it get that much, views? And I realized the real reason why I didn't get that many views is because I didn't put in the title Black Sissy Black BBW Sissy Crossdressing. These guys, they go on YouTube and they look up this shit. They look for crossdresser, black crossdressers. Or they look up BBW crossdressers. You know what I mean? I think that's why I get so many views, because you can like BBWs, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't find a white BBW. Like, even for me, like if I'm looking for like a chick with big tit, like a BBW, it depends on the certain type. Race does play a part of it, but not always. It just depends on the situation. You know what I'm saying? And what you really want. Right? Of course. So that's what I've noticed. Is like, for me, it's like, I guess because I'm black, there's that aspect of cross-dressing, because you don't have any black cross-dressers, and then at the same time, having also just having like a BBW. Because if I'm looking up BBWs, especially somebody who's rare in the BBW community, right? It's like a crossdresser or a trans woman, because you don't see that many like that, right? Compared to cisgendered women, right? You would be like ecstatic. I wouldn't care if she's Hispanic, black, Asian. She's a BBW, transsexual. How many those you see walking around, and that look good. So that's one. And so you're into BBWs, that's gonna really turn you on, regardless. So and then let's say you find somebody who's like a minority, that's gonna turn you on even more. What else do I want to put in the salad? I think I want to mix it with one more. I really wanted to try this white CBG by itself, but I guess not. A little bit of CBD in there. THCA. Mixing up salads full of strains for weed. Anyways, so yeah, that was very important to me to, and so that's why I think the reason why I get so many views on my sexual content. But honestly, I could see why some people just, why would they want to do OnlyFans? But all you have to do is put on some female fucking panties and turn around and 110 fucking men decide to fucking hit you up. Like, that's crazy. And then with the internet, this is people from all across the world, exactly, you know what I mean? So at least where it's broadcasted. And I think the internet now is not so worldwide web based. I think it's more local. You know what I mean? It's focused on local things. Because I get YouTube channel fucking goddamn I get YouTube commercials that are like local as fuck, and it's like, what? Never had that before, let alone YouTube commercials. But now they're local. I really don't know. This shit I gotta do. Oh yeah, I bought a smaller grinder because I thought the grinder was better to be smaller, but sorry guys, I'm a huge pothead, so you don't know. I'm a huge pothead. Oh, and another thing, if you can't stand seeing me in my male version, I don't think you should, first of all, you need to understand what I am and who I am. And most of my videos say crossdresser. So you need to know there's a male side to me. And you also need to know that it's okay to be in this and not tripping out. It's a better mixing bowl, you can say, for the plants. And I'm about to roll a blunt because it's windy as fuck out here. That paper will just not fucking smoke out here. So let's talk about it since we're like 13 minutes in already. So, I was talking about my sexuality right now. My sexuality makes me feel so weird. So basically what happened for the past few, right? I'd probably say for the past, not lately, but I would say like maybe like a week ago. Like a week ago is when the sensations of what I'm about to talk about, stopped. But what had happened was, I'll probably say at this point 4 weeks, about a month ago, this started happening. I started to have really strong transgender feelings. You know what I'm saying? Extremely strong transgender feelings. And I guess because I'm still on testosterone and male hormones and shit, I couldn't really express those feelings, you know what I'm saying, the way I wanted to. And so I guess biologically, based off what I know, is as primates, we can basically induce ourselves through the hyperthermus, I can't remember, of the brain to produce either testosterone or estrogen based off how we fucking feel. So if you feel like you're a woman, you'd really believe maybe you're a woman. For me personally, being transgender, it feels like, not that I was totally born a woman, but that we live in a society that makes you, be a man if you're male. It makes you be a man, and not in a good way. It's not like a good thing. These are not great things. These are not happy-go-lucky things. These are really harsh realities. And so, with that being said, you come to the realization that the reason why you think so macho and all this other shit is not because you really are that, but because you were told to be that. And so, in the transgender person's mind, at that point, right? At that point in the transgender person's mind, it's like they're thinking like, like, fuck all that. I need to be who I need to be. So they start. I think this is all theoretical things I'm saying, but I think that most transgender people at that point kind of think like, well, I guess I really am just a girl, or I guess that I have this thing in my brain that is more just, basically shows up as femininity or womanhood. Like basically, there's something in my brain that allows me to basically just tap into being an actual woman, logically. And that's not something that's just like a fetish or sexual or some deviant, idealistic thing. One thing I can say, I would probably say, is I don't gynephilia, and that's more of a culturalistic aspect of things that you usually notice. It's not. You never really hear that much about biology when it comes to I don't gynephilia. And like I said, I think it's more of a phenomenon, not an actual scientific biological base for I don't gynephilia. But that's my take on it. What else? So because of all this, right? I've been really considering. Oh my god! Wow. Yeah, that's acceptable. Wow, it's so windy. Sometimes you're like, I can't even put the weed in the blunt before the wind starts to blow everything away. Let me just try to get at least a tip. Godly. I had to put a little bit of tobacco on this though. Just so we can smoke. Because sometimes I've noticed, like, that's why Jamaicans put grabba in their blunt, because, their joints, because you can't really roll it like that. Okay, close that end up. I gotta do that real fast. So I'm rolling a blunt, guys. I have a whole nother channel where I smoke, but right now it's usually called CBD Groupie, which I'm gonna change it back into. But for this one, it's gonna be the channel's called Life of Hell, and I just talk about my life. It's mostly like my guy version. But right now, I have so much to talk about. So basically, when it came down to, me, I'm trying to think of what I have to say right now. So basically, where do I start? I guess we can start where I left off. So when it comes down to, my sexuality and whatnot, it's just, and my gender, it's so complicated because, in my mind, I've kind of realized, based off of my own chats with people and stuff, other trans people, that I think I'm just a trans person who's attracted to other trans people. So I have like a lesbian-esque, like, sexuality, but it's like, I still feel a little bit insecure towards cis women, and I think I don't have enough womanhood for myself. I'm not transgender, you know what I mean? I'm not a transsexual. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the real reason why that maybe I feel this way. But I'm still heavily attracted to women. It's just that I've never had sex with women. So it's like my sexual preferences are kind of just weird. It's like I don't feel comfortable having sex with a woman as a man. That's the best way to explain it. And I don't like having sex with, I don't really like having sex with a woman, a cisgendered woman, as a man. I just don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be able to be giddy and not just be giddy, but I realize I actually have more of a submissive. Well, I would say I have more of a passionate sexuality, and if I'm not not penetrating, but if I'm not like the aggressor, the person that's lusting after, in the sense of, you know how it is when you're penetrating. I mean, really, I don't want to say penetrating because it's not always penetratable, but yeah, penetrating. Like, if I'm not penetrating, if it's not penetratable sex. And then for me, it's like, if it's not penetratable sex, I'm not gonna have that masculine S to it. And as a trans woman, like, I like trans. I started looking at that more because it doesn't fit traditional stereotypes. It's not that it goes against it. It's just it leaves you more room. I like being attracted to a trans woman for her cock and for her aggressor, her dominance. That's the word I'm looking for, dominance. I'm gonna be here for a while. Like, I do appreciate a trans woman for her fucking dominance, when she's topping somebody. I find that really fucking sexually arousing. I also find sexually arousing in females too, but the thing is, females don't have penises. So they don't know how to sexually dominate a lot of people. And in society doesn't allow them to do that. It's something you acquire by your own wit, Like, maybe you stick your finger in a guy's ass and it turned him on, and the next thing you know, you were like fisting guys, then you started fucking, or whatever, fingering them, and then you started to fucking peg them, and then, things like that. You have to know how to, like, do that shit. It brings me into the sexual problem. Like, women, I find sometimes, I wouldn't say, it's hard to explain, because I don't think that maybe, I'm gonna just say what I have to say. I sometimes feel like I'm attracted to women more than I am attracted to trans women, because I don't know, they're just really, really hot. But I feel like it's because cis women have like this, like, I don't want to say innocence. That's not the right word, but fuck, I'm gonna just speak freely. They have this innocence about them that makes them feel as though, like, oh my God, like, there's nothing like scary or dominant about them. You know what I mean? And it's so enticing. And it's like, sometimes you feel like, man, it's because they're women. They had so much. I mean, the world cheers them on. You know what I'm saying? The world enforces them. To be cis is so awesome because you're a fucking hot ass chick who loves being a hot ass chick. And that's just like awesome. You know what I'm saying? But when you're like trans and you're not even like transitioning, it's really like, you can see the difference, you know what I mean? And so I've been watching a lot of porn stars I used to watch when I was like a teenager or whatever, and a young adult, and just kind of following them, their careers, and see where they're at right now. And it's like, I'm watching like this porn star called Angela White. I think it's Angela White, super hot. And I hate to say it, but a lot of my Sissy Crossdressing or inspiration, which is like the only cross-dressing that I really kind of have done so far, has come from porn stars. Like, my act, how I act like a woman, comes from like that. At least the hyper intensity. Like, if I want to act hyper feminine, I act like a porn star, right? Like a bimbo. But it's weird because all these porn stars, they go from like bimbo, sissy, slut, beta sex slave, kitten, to like fucking mistress over fucking night. And it's just because they like hit the MILF age, and then when they hit the MILF age and the MILF kind of dies off, or at least I would say the MILF shit kind of like gets to its intensity, that's when they go mistress. And you get that a lot from a lot of porn stars. And it's like I kind of elevated with them. And so I have this like sadomasochist submissive sexuality that just is never met. Like and that's what I've realized about me. It's like it's a submissive sexuality. I never get that need met. And I'm sick of it. You know, I'm sick of it. And I'm sick of it because there's a lot of people out here. There's ugly people. Ugly people fuck. Ugly people fuck. You know that, right? So it's like, I might not be the most feminine person, but I know there's a guy out there that like is attracted to me as a woman or as a feminine person or whatever. And I would love to be with that person. You know? At least sexually. But yeah, that's what I've noticed is like, for me, it's like, so lately it's been kind of hard because I've been jacking off to like females, right? And it's really complicated because like, I don't really like femdom anymore because it's so degrading. And I don't like that degradation. Like you don't have to call me a fucking loser. And that's the thing I'm talking about. Like femdom is horrible compared to male dom because male doms just sexually dominate their partners. Female doms try to humiliate you and dehumanize you and shit. Like that shit's weird. And so when it comes to the sissy crossdressing and femdom, it's not really the relationship I want. What I see in a relationship with a fucking female dom as a gender fluid person is for her to see me as like, how do I explain it? As a guy, I expect her to treat me like a gay boy. Treat me like one of your gay best friends at first, and then I want you to treat me like a child, like a boy, like your son or something. A very cute mommy dom, sweet mommy dom manner. And then after that, maybe that's what I really need. It's like, instead of aggressive dom, I need like a fucking like feminine dom, not submissive human, but like a more soft dom. Because it's like, I don't need a dom to be all up in my face talking shit. Like that's just weird. At first I used to be that way because I had real mental issues, real problems. But now I do it for kink. Like I find it kinky. And that's when I had the most gender dysphoria. And I was probably, what's that word I'm looking for? Goddamn, suppressing it. I was suppressing on my gender dysphoria. And so I think that's really where it comes from. I think that's where it comes from. So it's like, with all this shit, it's like, I just, like right now, I'm very, very, like in public, like publicly, I am extremely sexually intimidated by women. And I think it's because my coworker wanted to have sex with me, and I kind of want to have sex with her, but I'm kind of like not jumping the gun like I'm supposed to. Like I think most guys would have fucking tried to, this is where guys kind of go deep into their pockets. This is where guys, this is where guys do backflips and shit for women type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like not crazy shit. They ain't jumping through fire hoops, but they're doing backflips, cartwheels and shit like that. In other words, like they expect you to make all the first move, which insinuates you're gonna make all the moves. So I can tell she's like waiting for me to be like, say something. And a lot of cross-dressers, trans women, it doesn't matter. Like if you're attracted to women, you're attracted to women. You know what I'm saying? But is it that I'm not attracted to women? And it's like, no, I'm extremely attracted to women. But it's just it's not coming from a good place. You get what I'm saying? It's distorted. It's like I'm attracted to women, but it's like if I talk to a woman right now in real life, it's like she's gonna think I'm a guy. And that's gonna create a lot of fucking problems. You get what I'm saying? Because she's not used to, like, especially where I'm at right now, all they know is gay and straight. And they think gay means you want to be a girl, but you can't. so you act girly as fuck. Straight means you want to be a man, and so you act like a fucking man, hard as fuck. And I'm not gonna give you that shit. I'm not gonna give you that shit in male form. I'm not gonna give you that shit. That's why I always told one of my best friends, Trey, that like I'm like gender flux, where it's like if this is boy and this is girl, I'm like I'm more gender fluid, like right here and right here. So I'm not directly in the middle. I'm not non-binary, but I'm more like in the middle. And it's not just this or this. It's like the whole spectrum in between. You can get that whole shit. That's basically what I am. You know, which is something, you know, most people don't know how to deal with. And so that's why I call myself non-binary. You know what I mean? And that's just the truth. Now, when it comes to transsexuality and the medical system and all that shit, like, of course I'd like to do all that shit, you know? But those are kind of like, I ain't gonna lie, those are kind of like one-way roads. So if you start taking female hormones, like you start taking testosterone blockers, right? You gotta take estrogen. You have to take estrogen. There's no other reason to, like, it just go like that. Because if you start taking, what are you gonna take? Testosterone? But you're taking testosterone blockers. It's stupid. Even if you took testosterone, the fact that you're taking testosterone blockers, you're not gonna be able to produce that testosterone. It's not gonna bust through the fucking the testosterone blockers like a linebacker, like you're like an offensive tackle and shit. You know, it's not that shit. You know. Wow. So that's that right there. You know. So that's like a one-way street. You're gonna have to become a woman. You know what I'm saying? And you still can do it organically. In other words, you can still grow your hair out. You don't have to be like you can be a regular guy and just go on female hormones. You're not gonna want to like dress like a girl. You're not gonna want to do all these things, but you're gonna want to do it afterwards. Like you're gonna fucking want to feel pretty, and then you're gonna look at, oh, that's pretty. They're pretty. Oh, women out here are looking pretty. I don't look like them. You're gonna want to look pretty. This is what estrogen does. You know what I'm saying? Type things. So there's a biological factor to it, but we don't like to put it in there because it's too individualistic, and they know that. Well, society's more primitive on that aspect when it comes to gender, and they don't allow this shit because it's easier, it's simpler, and it's been working. So why not? But yeah, when it comes to my sexuality, it's like right now I'm extremely intimidated by women because of two reasons. One, it's like I'm a proud transgender woman, and I know that sounds so like lame because I'm not even really a transsexual. But if you put it underneath the umbrella term of transgender, I'm a proud transgender woman. You get what I'm saying? Because I love transgender women, and I just love them. You know, it's just one of the things like when you're black, like, yeah, you know your people were slaves and they were conquered by your next door neighbor type shit, right? But like at the same time, you still fucking like look at black people like they're strong, probably even stronger, you know what I mean, as so-called white people or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Because of like what they went through and all this type of shit. So you're like this, you know what I mean? There's that aspect of it, you know, where it's like, I love trans women. I love being a trans woman, you know, or whatever. But it's like cis women, I'm not gonna say, I hate to say it, but it's in their own words, they're the fucking blueprint. And it's not to say like, I'm not on some Blair White shit, because I really don't believe that shit. I really believe biologically, like, gender is fluid. But at least for primates, we know the science. But when it comes down to, you know, cis women. I mean, fuck, golly gee, Batman. I mean, their fucking whole life, like to see just like at the laundromat, like 2-year-old, 3-year-old fucking Hispanic girls wearing pink fucking dresses and shit, twirling around. It's like, like they sexualize the children, so to speak, really fucking early, like sometimes even earlier than that. And it's like, you've been in that mode. You thought you were a princess from existence. From existence. That's crazy. It's just crazy. But like, as a guy, you have to fucking throw away masculinity just to do that shit. It's almost like if women were the dominant species on the planet, like it'd be the opposite. Like if a woman was trying to transition to a man, like trans men, it'd be harder for her because of the fact that we live in a dominated female matriarchal world. But the fact that we live in a patriarchal world, it's like it's more harder for a man to become a woman. And even through the development of biology, it's sometimes harder. So I guess it really is just at the end of the day, two-spirit. But like once I said before, the metaphysics of that is just spirit, liquid. It's like liquor. You know what I mean? The spirits is basically liquid, and that liquid, our elixir, is basically your blood. And your blood and your DNA, but not just in your DNA, but what different chemicals are going through your brain and your body. Because a lot of it would be chemical reactions in your body. You put two together, and then they come out a chemical. You know what I mean? In your brain. So it's like, I don't know. I've just been feeling super sexually intimidated. I've been feeling so. I have this love for cisgender women where it's like, oh my god, and not just oh my god, but like just seeing the fact that I've seen transgender women a lot, even at my job, coming as customers and shit, and it's like, trans women are still taking a back seat. They're still riding on the back of the fucking gender bus, and it's like, you can't help but notice it. You know what I'm saying? You can't help but fucking notice it. You can't tell me straight up that like, okay, no, trans women are women. They're equal to fucking women. Like, no, they're not. Like, I'm sorry, boo-boo. Like, even sexually, I love the sexual submissiveness of trans women. You get what I'm saying? But like, oh my, it's not an attraction thing. It's not like, oh my god, cis women are just so fucking hot. We're hot. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like, you have to look at the facts. I'm not even taking like emotion into account. I'm taking like just the factual reality that it's like her vagina. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? Her vagina is it. Her vagina is it. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know how to explain what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy. Like, but it's the truth. It's like, hello, because trans women want to get vaginas. That's the thing about being transgender that I think that makes it the hardest, is that aspect right there. And I think that's why a lot of trans women sometimes don't get the surgery. It's just because, like, you don't really play with your genitals that much. Like, it's not a genital thing. Once it takes out of the sexual shit, and you're not really into the sexual part of it anymore, being a trans person, it's just who you are. I don't know how to explain this shit. It's just really weird. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's really hard to explain what I'm saying, but I hope you understand me. It's just like, when you I just feel like cis women are superior to trans women. Um, I just that's all I can say. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think being a trans woman, I still think is a beautiful existence. But when it comes to, I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to femininity, cis women, they beat you. And I love trans women are sometimes hotter than cis women. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just like cis women have done something that I can't like negate. You know? And like I said, they've been fucking cis their whole fucking life. So it's like that's just like, I don't know. I just walk around and I see these women looking super thick, looking sexy, and it's like I can't do nothing about that shit. You know? Like, I can't do nothing about it, and that aggravates me. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to explain because I feel like the plane, like, for example, I just feel like the situation. This is what makes gender dysphoria so hard, because when you're an egg, or you're in the egg situation or egg phase of transness, you're a trans egg, it's like you literally see a hot ass girl, right? And you're intimidated. That's how you fucking know. I feel like somebody's fucking transgender, and not like gay or not. You know what I'm saying? It's the intimidation. Like, fucking intimidated, and that shit is crazy to me because I never understood why the fuck I felt intimidated sexually. Like, why am I so sexually? And I think it's because women also sexually have the upper playing field in that aspect. That's why there's incels and all this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I feel like that intimidation is like ridiculous, because you just feel like, man, they're so fucking hot, and it's just out there, like their ass, you know what I'm saying, is literally out there. The thought, you know what I'm saying? I just walked past a fucking goddamn Hispanic fucking garage sale, they're playing fucking music, and it's like this lady, I don't know how old she was. It doesn't even fucking matter at this point. Why is her ass so fucking fat? Why is she wearing them shorts that are like, you know, the misty fucking goddamn Pokemon shorts, where the motherfuckers is just, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, what the fuck? Like, ass just out there. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And you expect me not to fucking just like, what the fuck? You expect guys to just see that shit, that type of shit all day, and then you go on YouTube and there's bitches making videos about how men are literally like, some men come out of nowhere and they just are jacking off in their fucking face, basically, like, and not in their face, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these guys are like, you know, those type of, I don't know what they're called, them guys, but those type of guys where they're voyeuristic something, I don't know what it's called, but voyeuristic is one of them. It's like, they have to, it's like stalkers or something. Like, they have to look, they'll just look at a person through the window or like from afar and start masturbating to them and shit. And so these bitches are talking about this shit. I'm just like, they don't understand. And I hate to be so weird about that shit. I'm about to sound really fucking weird, because coming from a guy's perspective, I've been that type of guy. And it just makes me feel like even more like a predator and kind of weird, and I don't gotta feel like, or whatever the fuck. But listen, like, I've been a type of guy that has like his voyeuristic fetish. Not in reality, not really, but I've been there. And it's because women are so fucking hot. You can't help yourself. And I feel like that's why, like, a lot of guys rape women, all types of shit. Like, are you fucking kidding me? You have all this testosterone ready for a battle, and then you wanna fuck. You know what I'm saying? This fucking person, just by looking at them, like, what the fuck? And then, like, you know, then go and behold, the motherfucker is meant to get fucked. Like, they're literally, where you are hard and you're extending out and you want to put it in something, she literally has the hole for it. Like, it's just, your mind is just like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Now, I have self-control, obviously, right? But some people don't. And I don't know how to explain this. It made me kind of cry a little bit, because it's like your purpose as a man. You know what I'm saying? Your purpose as a man. And, you know, and just that insecurity of always thinking at the end of the day, like, getting pussy makes you a man. Using your dick makes you a man. Like all these different fucking aspects that we kind of like try to like throw to the side because we know it's not true, right? We all know it's not necessarily true. We all know this. But there's like this vain, prideful aspect of us that needs this because we feel like it's a part of our fucking survival or our thrival, you know, or something like that. It makes you feel some type of way. And so, because I've never had sex with a woman, especially as a man, I'll say I've never had sex with a woman as a man, well, and especially as a trans woman, it's like, I don't know what to think. And also being trans, I feel like maybe that had to do with the fact that I've had so much sex with so much men. But the thing is that I've always been a top. So it's never, and even when I was topping them, I still expressed a lot of femininity. So the fact that like, you know what I mean? That's how I'm saying. Like, I don't know. It's just really weird. That's what makes it really weird for me. It's like, what the fuck? You know? And so like, I just find women to be just unnecessarily pretty and attractive and just like, I just feel like, what the fuck? Like, why are they looking this fucking good right now? Like, why is someone wearing booty shorts? Like, why are these women so thick? Like, why are they so cute? Why are they so pretty? Why are they constantly like turning me on? And it's like, and I felt like it's not a turn on. I think what it is psychologically, I feel like I have to act like that. Like I have to act like oh shit, like, you know, I'm not comfortable in it, and it's not that I don't want to be, but I feel like it's just a gender role. I'm not saying like I have to hit on women or something, but I'm saying like I feel like I have to respond to that in a certain way. I'm supposed to respond to that, and it's like I just don't know. It's just a lot of shit, and it's just like, why are women like constantly like? Why am I I feel like why am I so sexually intimidated by women in that aspect? Where it's like I don't even like where like I start to get these feelings like for it's like okay before it was just like oh man women are hot, you know, whatever, and then now it's like every woman I see I could just see one thing and it's like I already know what I want to like do as like honestly like a BDSM slut, and you could still be a guy and do that, but for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I go to like sissy mode and then there's that aspect because in the back of my mind I'm thinking like, but I actually am transgender, like, you know what I mean? And so like, you know, like how would this work? Like, you know what I mean? And then you start to like get in that sexual fantasy. And like when you actually are transgender, like for me, I actually am transgender, like transgender. Like if I can go into hormones on that shit, I would, but I just can't do it. The hard part is just like having that in the back of your mind constantly yelling at you, and then it's at the same time like trying to maneuver mentally in that space, and that's what has me fucked up. Like that's basically has me fucked up right now. It's like I don't know how to sexually, you know, like I don't know how to sexually engage with women. Like that's what I'm trying to explain. But I figured out why. I've actually figured out why. It's because I'd be effeminate. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the sex that I actually really want with women. Is like two women having sex, but it's like a woman wouldn't understand that. Most women are not going to understand that. They're going to think like, nah, you're just crazy or something. You know? I can show you a clip too. Maybe, I don't know. I might cut off if I put this shit on. I don't know the clip. It's a clip. This guy, he was a cross-dresser, and he met this chick, and then he showed her his female side, and she was like, "Oh my god, no, And he was like, what? We make a great couple. Our sex is amazing and shit. He's like, I just do this 100 times and shit. What the fuck? She's like, I don't want you to share clothes with you. You know, of course they had jokes, of course. But, you know. You know, she's like, you're gay, you're gay. And he's like, oh, I'm not gay. I just like dressing up in hot ass women's clothing and going out and getting hit on by guys and shit every once in a while. It's just like, this is a part of me. It's just not. I was like, oh my god, but like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? It's just weird. It's too intense too. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what if you do just like doing that shit? And that's what I think to myself, like, because I like cross dressing. I'm dressing up more, cross dressing, you know, or whatever. And it's like I'm looking at clothes now and women's clothing, like, ooh, that looks cute, that looks cute. But I'm very much overall sexually intimidated by women. Like, even just looking at women, I was just like, man, women are grown adults. Like, they are a grown ass woman. Like, I don't know, that shit just, oh my god, like, I don't even now I'm like, damn, it's trying to turn me on, but like, not in the same way I would feel, right? It's so weird, like, it's just, I'm getting more, like, turned on by female dominance, like, I feel, but I think where it comes from, this intimidation, or this love intimidation, it's like a lesbian would feel this way. Like, a lesbian would feel like, oh my god, I don't know why I'm like crushing over my best fucking friend and freaking out and shit. And this is how I fucking feel like right now. And it's because of my gender. It's because like I'm transgender, and it's like those are the feelings. I mean, this is why I really, really, really wanted a therapist, because I really, really need like an actual therapist to talk to with this too, and be like, oh, like I feel like I have like feelings, but like I can't express them in a masculine way. And then you think about it before. Sometimes it's cute, you know what I mean, with guys. I ain't gonna lie, to be gay. I like being gay with guys, like, because with guys, it's more like we can pretend to be tough and all that shit, and it's reassuring. You know, it's a cope, to be honest. But then, like, when we sexually engage to each other, it's like we open up a little bit of a level of intimacy. And then guys, sometimes, that's why guys, like, to me, gay sex is so hot, because it's like, with guys, it's like, oh, okay, like a guy would just be hung out on that. This is like almost like true, based off true story. It's not a true story. It's just based off that shit. So like, think about like two guys hanging out, and then like one guy's like, fuck, I don't know, I'm horny, right? I don't know, say anything like, well, I was a chick last night, I was shooting blue ball. Oh, my girlfriend is gonna suck my dick, or whatever, right? His guy friend's there. He's hanging out, and he's like, yo, bro, what the fuck? Like, I can fucking suck your dick, bro. And see, you're like, what the fuck? What made that shit start happening and shit? And it's like, there's vulnerability and it's sex, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay. And so he's sexually aroused, you become sexually aroused, or some shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And so, but the funny part about it is, right, if he really wanted to suck that dick, it would be more smoother. Like, he'd try to like calm him down and shit, so he can suck the motherfucking dick. But motherfucker just said that shit. Like, that's how guys really are. Like, I suck your dick. Like, they'll just do that shit, and then they'll keep on going with the male vibrato, and then kind of just be like, fuck that shit, and they'll suck the fuck out of your dick, and you'd be like, what the fuck, like, you know what I mean? Like, I did that shit to show you. Like, it's like a kinky thing, like the masculinity guy, bro, or himbo. I was looking at that word himbo. I said bimbo, but the himbo, like this himbo thing that guys do, like, that shit is so fucking hot, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying, that's why being gay can be hot. But like, when it comes to fucking like sorry, I'm hearing some shit. Okay, you know, that's why that shit can be hot. But then like, you have like women, like, I don't know what it is right now, but I think maybe it's just this era like I think we're at the era where the bimbo era is over. Like bitches do not want to be bimbos. They want to be some boss ass bitches, and so like this boss ass bitch energy is equal. It's just erupting the whole atmosphere, and it's like it's making women look super fucking hot in a dominant way without being overly masculine. Like I was looking at like masculine women because I was looking at that shit the other day because I couldn't. I just got tired of looking at women just being on some like, oh my god, I'm so pretty and da da da. But like, it's like a coy. It's like I'm so pretty and submissive and non-threatening, but I'm gonna just lay this fucking juicy ass fat ass on you and shit and completely intimidate you. Like if guys walked around with like semi-hard fucking dicks and shit all day long, you know what I mean? Like a porn star fucking dick, like just, you know what I mean? Like anaconda fucking hose wrapped, you know what I mean? Like a garden hose wrapped up in this fucking goddamn tight ass boxer briefs or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Spandex briefs and shit all day long, and that shit was tight as fuck, and you were just seeing like their ass and shit and their big ass fucking dick and balls. You'd be like, what the fuck? Bitches would be fucking wet as fuck everywhere they went. You get what I'm saying? And so like, how the fuck these women are just out here sexually intimidating us as guys, and it's like, what the fuck? And all we're supposed to do is just be like, yeah, keep it strong and shit, and finesse and sometimes even fucking make the bitch feel like she a motherfucking bitch and shit, and feel like, you know, she's helpless and can't and needs you and shit. And you're like, but she don't need me. What the fuck? No, like it's just like all because you're horny. But like this is the intimidation that like, well, you want to fuck me, and it's like, but yeah, you want to fuck me too. Like what the fuck? That's reality. Like it's just too much, and then that's why I be like overload and shit. And so like women sexually have power over men and shit, and it's just like that shit to me is something that as a person I just never like. I never liked about being a guy. You know what I mean? And so even though I am attracted to women, it's like I can't really mentally deal with that shit. You get what I'm saying? And so like transgender feelings on top of that shit, plus the high levels of gender dysphoria, it's like fuck, you know? Like I just sometimes wake up sometimes and I just like look at women or whatever, and I'm just like, porn mostly, I ain't gonna lie, porn, and I'm just like, I just start like, in my mind, I just start crying and shit. Like, I don't cry anymore. I used to cry, but, you know, I start crying and shit, like, and it's like, well, why are you crying? And it's like, I don't know, like, when I jack off, the thoughts in my head, I'm looking at women, it's just like, they're God, you know what I mean? Like, they're God. Like, you know, they, like, birth the fucking humans, and it's like, it's just like, how? By this, like, this is how it happened, like, and they do look hot, they do look beautiful and angelic, and they're feminine as shit. They just know how to look and be and act. They sound feminine, their voices are feminine, their eyes, like, they're perfect. And it's just so intimidating because, you know, on a sexual level, it's like, you know, I don't know about y'all, but it's like I look at the bitches that like I see out here that are hot as fuck, sometimes that I want to fuck, or the bitches that are hot as fuck online, but it's really mostly the bitches that are like in my area. Like that's why I mean into like watching like Latinos and shit, because like Latinos be like out here looking fine as fuck, and I'd be like, fuck, you know. I know y'all like just go talk to them. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not the type of person. Sexually shy as fuck, especially towards women. You know, I'm 30 years old, never had sex with a woman and shit. Like, I know I don't know what I'm doing. I know I probably could like do something because I've seen enough porn and shit. You know, but like, fuck, like I'm gonna be like not knowing what the fuck to do, and I feel like that shit gonna be weird on that level because. Also, my personality, like everybody has a sexual personality. Like I don't even have a sexual personality towards women. I don't even know how to express. I never complimented a woman. Like I've never complimented a woman. Like I've never just gone and be like, you have nice hair, nice shoes, nice pants, or just be like on some like you thick, big ass titties, you fine. I never like told a woman she was fine as fuck. Not ever. I don't even do that shit. And it's just so weird to me because I'm like, yeah, I really haven't done that shit. And it showed me that, but it's like if I do that shit, I already know it's gonna lead to something sexual. And sometimes I don't always want something sexual and shit. You know what I mean? Or at least I don't want to make her feel like I'm degrading her or I'm like putting her on the spot. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I mean? Like I don't ever want to like make a woman feel that way. I feel like if she immediately, because of the I'm an attractive male and whatever the fuck, right? And whoop, she immediately takes that shit and makes it sexual. You know that means and she's cool with it, right? So that she didn't make me feel bad. You know damn well she's trying to have sex. And a lot of times some bitches don't. They just want to keep on flirting. You know what I mean? And so it's like, no, I'm trying to have sex. And I get frustrated with bitches with my time. They just want to have a cute guy around them and shit. You know what I mean? And they don't want to give up the cookie. And that's how they see that shit. And that shit to me is just, I don't know. I don't like that shit. And I don't know if that's how women really are. They're just not horny. And they're not down to fuck. Or what the fuck, you know what I mean? And that's what I don't like. Like women are just never down to fuck, and it's always on some like they always have to have this upper sleeve over you and shit. And it's just that's the relationship between women, you know, between how women are between women, and I don't like that shit because it's not me, you know. I don't know. I know I'm talking a lot of shit, but it's just how I feel. Like it's weird like that when it comes to me being with women. And so I don't even know how to do that shit. But yeah, so I think the sexual intimidation has gotten to the point where it's just like I feel like because of I'm aware of all these sexual things that I like in so many words I would rather be born a woman, and that's kind of sparked like a lot of gender dysphoria because I see it every day, and the fact that I know I could become a woman, I think that's what really kind of makes me have gender dysphoria. It's the fact that I know that there are transsexuals, you can go on hormones, and it's like you can't do that shit though. You mentally tell yourself you can't do that shit because of your life and your situation. But then you look at where you're going and you're like, I don't want to go there. Do I really want to be a 45-year-old man? And it's like, fuck no. You know. Like my father just died. I don't even like I'm kind of like how much time you have left and how easily you could die off and all this type of shit. And I'm just looking at it like I'm getting older, and I never thought, even when I was younger, I didn't think it was going to take me this long to transition. I wanted to transition in my early 20s. So if I came out now, this wouldn't be like on some like, oh, he's just been, no, like this is 10 years plus. We're thinking about it. I've been dealing with this shit. That's why it's like, when I say this shit, it's like, I'm not saying that all transgender is to like be one of the weirdos guys. Like, you don't know how long people have been dealing with shit. And how much they've been holding back and suppressing. And life just treats people like shit. So I'm at that point where I'm just like, man, I really don't know. I feel like my sexual intimidation of women is a gender issue. Or at least it's going into that. You know? If I had sex with women, maybe it wouldn't be so much that way. But I feel like now I can't do it. And I don't want, and it's gonna look like, well, it's because you're just gay. And it's like, no, it's not because I'm just gay. Like, you know you're attracted to women, bro. Like, you don't watch, like, you know what I mean? I'm attracted to females. It's just that I don't know how to, like, not worship them. You know? Like, my sexuality with females is femdom. Like, that's what it is. Like, you know what I mean? So if I'm attracted to women, if I'm like, okay, I'm more, like, sexually fluid. You know, I'm sexually fluid, I really am. If I'm more into being with a woman right now, it's like, I'm gonna be like, it's not really the woman that's turning me on, right? If you know anything about spirit on a spiritual level, if you know anything about anything, especially like sexuality, has to do with like you. And so like it's me that wants that masochistic shit. I like worshiping women because women have no penises, so they can't ever penetrate you or dominate you with their penis with penetration. So like I just love when I see a woman with her legs. Honestly, I've kind of been this way since I was a kid. I remember being like in, like I said, the first grade. I already told y'all, and I kissed up on this girl, this Hispanic girl, who always got in trouble all the time. I mean, I got in trouble too, but like she got in trouble all the time. And we ended up. I never made out with her, but what did I do with her? I was kissing up on her legs, kissing her feet, sucking on her toes, kissing up on her thighs. And yes, like I'm saying before, I'm saying something said before. I was molested by my older sister. She made me eat her pussy, but it was only because she was sexually active at a young age. Because we were like I was at least well, probably 4 years old. I can't remember. She was probably 6. You know. So it's just because when she went to Nigeria or whatever, she was molested by somebody. So taking child development, I learned this. So that's what happened to me. I ate pussy. So I had my sexual preferences was more into being submissive towards women, and so I always kind of like loved doing that. So even now, and so as a guy and growing up sexually in my like late to teens to early 20s, I was really into BDSM and men dominating women. And I thought it was more because psychologically it was more on the aspect of okay, it's because like these men are like tying up these women, especially as a young incel. It's like you think these type of thoughts like, oh my god, like fuck, I wish I could just kidnap a chick with a bunch of guys of mine. And I already had a threesome type of shit, not really, but I had a threesome with one of my like gay partners, you could say I had when I was like a teenager or whatever. That I didn't know it was a gay partner. It just kind of just happened, and sucking each other's dicks and shit. But he brought me to his girl's house he had smashed, and then like he made me like finger her and shit. I wanted to eat her out, but she didn't want me to. So just like rubbed her pussy a lot and like fingered her and shit. And then like she sucked both of our dicks, and I like sucked on her titties and shit. But I really like that threesome aspect, or that group sex aspect. And so that always kind of like, so you can see, you can imagine like, like you can imagine, right? Even going back into that memory, I really didn't get hard at first until I saw his dick get hard. His dick was hard, and she was rubbing on his dick, and then she started like rubbing my dick to get it hard, and I couldn't get it hard. And then like seeing his dick get hard, like got me hard and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what kind of like did it for me. It was shit like that. Like that's why my sexuality is like, okay. And so fingering her and shit was so fucking. I told her I wanted to eat her pussy, and it was like, well, why do you want to eat pussy? You see what I'm saying? Like, cause you're not, you know what I mean? You're not really into girls and shit, but sexually, because you've already been with women, you know what I mean? It's kind of like I'm not really disgusted by women and shit. You know what I'm saying? I do like males. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more, I would say, just because of convenience. You could say. I don't know how to explain that shit. But anyways, yeah, and it's just like when it comes to women, it's so much more work, it's so much more harder. So that's why I'm like, oh, but like because of that, as my own sexuality, it's become more like, oh my god, I just want to, you know what I mean? Like, please let me have the pussy, please let me have the pussy, like, you know what I mean? I like that type of shit. Like, I don't know how to explain that shit, but I don't want to be like, oh, you mean my pay pig, or like I'm gonna fucking like make you do shit for me in real life. Like, no, bitch, I just want to do that shit sexually. Like, I want to sexually be dominated by a woman. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want her to fuck me or anything necessarily. Like, even though that'd be nice because I can get fucked. It's just like, hello, you know? Like, I just want to like that lady right now. Like, if I do some BDSM shit, it's shit I did when I was a kid. Just like get on my knees and just fucking start licking and kissing up on her calves and shit, her toes and shit, and going up to the motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? The legs, the ass, and just eating the ass out and shit, eating the pussy and shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of shit that like turns me the fuck on. You know what I mean? I didn't know it turned me on that much until I ate this like prostitute's ass and shit. This tranny fucking prostitute's ass, and she had this fucking. I mean, it had to be a BBL, of course, but like, oh my god, just the fattest ass I've ever seen in my life. Eating that shit literally made me fucking like almost bust a fucking nut. I had to get it in because I want to. I like to please. I like to please like hard. Like I really like to. Like I used to look up so much sexual information on how to please. Like I know so much shit now. Like most guys don't keep their dicks moisturized, so constantly, after a shower, moisturize your dicks. You know what I'm saying? Like moisturize your dicks. Makes it smoother, makes it more comfortable. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? My mom's trying to touch her dick. She'll be like, oh, this shit ain't rough and shit. This shit like smooth and shit. She'll be like, oh shit. Oh, sad. It's gonna slip and slide open. You feel me? She don't want a paper cut from your dick and your dick hair. You know what I mean? Shave that shit. It's a lot of different, like, you know, tips and tricks and shit. Sexually, like how to not come, how to hold in your cum, how to internally ejaculate. So like you have an internal orgasm and shit. It's basically just holding in your cum and shit. So you just holding in your cum, but it's like the most intense orgasm. It's like basically you busted a nut, but that feeling that you have when you're like, oh, like that feeling, but like at least for a good 1 minute, like you feel that shit like, oh. I mean, it's not coming out because you're holding it, but it feels like that. That's what it feels like. It feels amazing, I ain't gonna lie to you. It feels, internalized ejaculation, it feels amazing, but it takes time. It takes work. You have to practice that shit. All you really have to do to practice that shit is learn how to hold in your pee. If you learn how to hold in your pee and shit, that muscle and shit will be so strong, and you just flex that muscle, and if it's strong, you're working that shit out for a while, that shit gonna like, you internalized ejaculate, and your girl don't like it, or whoever else you're fucking is gonna like it, because she's gonna be like, damn, this nigga fucking is having an orgasm, so he's fucking the living shit out of me. His dick is raging fucking hard, but he's not busting and shit. You know what I'm saying? And so afterwards, that's when you can just like play with it now. Now it's like you just have a hard dick for no fucking reason. It's just like, what the fuck? I'm just in this motherfucking, like, you know what I mean? So you could bust at that point if you want to. It's gonna be a little harder for you to bust up. I ain't gonna lie. Because now you're on your second nut, but you're not like, you know what I'm saying? You actually didn't nut at all. So the dick is still hard and shit. And the dick gonna be just like, fuck no. She gonna be like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, he just went super like, this is Super Saiyan 1. He's pushing further beyond. You know what I mean? Like, that's how that shit's gonna be like. You know what I mean? Like, what? So yeah, like I've learned all this shit. I learned how to eat. I try to learn how to eat pussy and shit. You know what I mean? Because like, hello, I had a partner one day, and then sucking dick was just like kind of organic at this point, because since many people do it, and pornos and all that shit. So, because guys kind of find out how to suck dick so they can tell their girl how to suck their dick. I remember that shit. Guys were like, yeah, like make sure she don't use teeth and shit. I'm like, with my guy friends, like I was just like, well, not guy friends, just classmates, like back in school and shit. But yeah, it's kind of wild, bro. But yeah, so me being like, I'm not really gay. It's like, it's weird. But yeah, fucking, what's shit called? But yeah, I'm extremely attracted to women. Extremely attracted to women. So that's the part that makes it so weird. That makes everything so weird, because it's basically it's like right now I'm sexually intimidated by women because I want to be them, at the same time like I'm attracted to them, and that's just so fucking weird. It's so fucking weird. And that kind of makes me insecure, and not just insecure, but also makes me feel ashamed in a sense, because it just makes me feel like a creep, or like not a creep, but just like, I don't know, like, it just makes me feel weird, because it disrupts the fucking fact I'm trying to be a guy. It makes me feel like you're not really being who you are, because I feel like I said before, I am gender fluid. I am still this person I am. You know, transgender people, we understand that we are who we are, but we just have this part of us that is us. You know, that makes us who we are. You know, and so sometimes it's like complicated because like if I'm in guy mode, I'm not even really like I said gender flux, and so it's really complicated on that level because you're looking at it like, what the fuck? I still feel like this is still me. And there's aspects of myself that I would like to integrate more of the femininity in. It's just is what it is. It's still me. And that's what I'm feeling right now. I'm feeling like the void of that. I'm not really knowing where to go from here. That's what I'm feeling. I don't really know where to go from here. You know, I really don't know where to go from here. And that's just because, like, I'm really in a limbo state right now. I'm really in a real limbo state right now. It's like, I might end up having to be one of those guys that just like marry a woman and be like, look, I'm transgender. This is who I really am. Blah, 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 blah. I feel like I'm gonna have to take that route, and then because I want to have kids, I do, but I don't see myself being a fucking father either. That's so crazy. And I was like, well, do you see yourself being a mother? Like, no, I just feel like I see myself being a really good parent. Like, I know I could be a really good parent. You know, I don't know. I look up to people as parents like Bob Marley. I feel like he's a great parent. I know it's like Bob Marley. Hell no. Nah. But like, I feel like Bob Marley and Rita Marley were great parents. I mean, she took care of all his kids, even the ones that weren't his. I mean, hers. Come on. This is why my idols like Rasta women and shit like that. Who else is a great parent and shit? I don't know. I watch too much TV. Because honestly, I was even thinking this today. I was thinking like shit like Carl Winslow and fucking, you know what I mean? All these different father figures and shit. And then I check into child development taught me a lot how to talk to young people. And so it was like, I think I'm just good at doing that shit. And I know how I want it to be treated. You know what I mean? But it's all the discipline parts that I really don't know much about. I'm not sure how to discipline. But yeah, I feel like I'd be a fucking very cool parent. I just wouldn't want to be somebody's father. You know what I mean? I like to be just their parent. But I think that's how I would actually probably get my kids. I'm thinking about doing that honestly just because I'm hitting 30 and it's like I'm not getting any younger and I feel like I'm gonna lose my looks, and that's another reason why I also want to transition right now, because also the gender dysphoria is like I'm gonna lose my looks. I'm not gonna be hot anymore like that. So it's like, oh my god, like I don't want to, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I need to like, dude, I feel like I need to do this now. I mean, it takes about 10 years for transition to really, like, you know what I mean, be full throttled. And it's like 10 years, I'm gonna be 40. Like, so it's gonna be over at that point. I'm gonna have to like do it now. But it's like, how am I gonna shift my life into that shit? That's what has me kind of like super scared. I am really doubtful and scared about transition. But hopefully, if I can keep this up and figure out the next move is, then I'm probably gonna be able to do that. But I don't want to make my life about transition. That's what I don't want to do. because I don't believe in that shit. I don't believe in that shit. I don't believe the person's like should change their whole life to transition because of the fact that it's like it's just too hard. Even if you had all the money in the world, it's still hard to transition like that. Just to, you know what I mean? Like the mental and the fact that it's just societal. That's not. It's a lot. I really don't know. I'm just. Ugh. I don't think about it too much, but all I'm gonna think about right now is just focus on cross dressing, kind of finding my own cross dressing style. And I think what I am as a cross dresser is the same way as a guy. I think I'm just more casual. I just want to wear more like feminine clothing. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to scream girl, but it could. You know, I'm just gonna like a lot. I'm very lazy, so like I like wearing comfortable clothes, and that's kind of where I want to wear. I want to wear comfortable clothes. You know, comfortable things is what I like. I feel like I'm bearing out my soul right now. This transgender shit, and like sex. It's just like I've been really intimidated sexually by women, and it's like it's not that I want to necessarily fuck them. And I noticed that shit. Like it's not like oh, I want to fuck you. It's just like yes, bitch, you're the fucking supreme femininity. Like you know, you're just like crushing over girls and their bodies because they have it. Like they literally have it. Like yes, but you have hips, you have ass, you have thighs, legs. Yes, any man would fucking feel blessed by the gods to have you in his bedroom. Period. And it's just the truth. Like, and it's like even though as a guy, it's not necessarily true. You know, like realistically, it's not necessarily true. But it's like, yeah, like if you had no pussy, you were getting no pussy, and somebody offered you like pussy. Come on, you gonna take that shit. But the problem is, it's not about that shit. Like, women are not aggressive enough. That's what it is. They're not aggressive enough. And not that they're not aggressive, they're not, you know, they're not blunt. They don't just say what they want. And so a lot of times, that's the reason why they don't get what they want. But a lot of times, that's the reason why, you know, that's why you have to play the game. That's why it's like, ugh. It's all based off of gender roles. So it's not even based off of like the reality of things. It's just based off of the gender role that women are supposed to be like, you know, princesses. And so they keep on asking for shit, and being, you know, it's gonna be obvious that they don't have shit because it's taken care of. Right? But if you tell you what they want, it's gonna show that they're taken care of. And so, but like in a way where like they make them look needy, you know what I'm saying? That's why in that fucking show, the Hacks, the commercial for HBO's show, that Hacks, I'm sure it was like, why don't women just say what they want right out? Is because it makes them look needy. And I was thinking like, that's true. It's all based off the notion that women are princesses. And so they gotta be passive aggressive and all this other shit. And to me, that shit sometimes is just really unattractive. You know? That's why even I have a belief that like transsexuals sometimes have like a higher sexual libido. That's why they look so overly feminine and like they look super fucking hot and shit. You know what I mean? Women just kind of like have to charge up like a fucking battery and shit, solar powered and that way. But yeah, I just don't know. Like, it's changed my whole sexuality now. I don't identify as gay anymore. I identify as pansexual. But it's just like, I just feel like, man, like, I don't know if I could have sex with a woman as a guy. That's like a, that's what I'm looking for. Like there's no files for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an empty folder and shit. Like I don't even know what to do. Like even like one of the guys I was working with when I first got this job and shit like a year ago. Like when he drove me home the first time, man, I wanted to fucking suck his cock. I'm not even gonna hold you. I really did though. Like that shit was like, if he wanted me to suck his cock, I would totally suck his fucking cock. I wanted to suck his nigga's cock so fucking badly. But right? Oh. Oh. And I felt like he wanted me to too. But like he never, you know what I mean? He never gave me that shit. He never just like was like, okay. And that's what makes it weird, like, about that shit. That's why guys have to like say that shit. They want to scare each other off, so they just have to like say that shit. Like you need that cock sucked or something. You gotta just you gotta just say it. And that's how that shit goes. But damn. You know? I didn't think about fucking my coworker and shit, the lady. When I first saw her, I thought she was fucking beautiful. But not beautiful like, oh my god, you're so fucking beautiful. But like beautiful like, oh you're beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like like, oh you're a beautiful lady and shit. Like you know what I mean? Like cause she's a woman. She has a little, you know what I'm saying? Look, she has the parts. She has the parts that make a person look beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Versus a guy just kind of look like a guy. I don't know. It looks like a guy. You know? Like, but she has the facial features to make a person look beautiful. But she's not like oh my god, she ain't drop dead gorgeous. She's just attractive enough in the face to where she don't look bad. She's not a bad looker. You know what I'm saying? But she's pretty enough to where you first see her. She's attractive enough in the face. You know what I'm saying? She's pretty, and I admire her beauty and shit, and that was basically it. But like, she took it immediately like I was hitting on her and shit. That's why I was like, what the fuck? You know? And so now I realize that shit. Like, I have to really like tell people how I fucking feel and shit, instead of just like not saying shit. But it's gonna take it the wrong way. You tell somebody I'm just admiring your beauty. Okay, but like, you know, you got really beautiful eyes. So to a guy and shit, he gonna be like, hey, you gay as fuck for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Guys don't say this to each other. And you don't tell women some shit she don't want to hear. If you don't want to fuck her, then why would you say that to her? And so it's like, not that I don't want to fuck my coworkers, it's just that they're my coworkers. The fuck? See what I'm saying? It's weird. Anyways, she be trying to see if I have a girlfriend and shit, but I don't have a girlfriend and shit. I think she's doing this to see if I'm gay or some shit too. Like, he's not trying to fuck me, and I be hitting on him all the time and shit, so he must have a fucking girlfriend. And it's like, nah, I don't have a girlfriend. I just don't want to deal with you. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel like, honestly, with people. I just don't want to deal with people. Like, having sex to me is great. I just don't feel like dealing with people like that. You know, it's just weird. It's always something too much. It's too much, you know? Like, what I have to fuck my coworker? And then if like, I'm gonna fuck somebody, you know, well, you know, it turns into some other shit. It's either money, you know, it's some bullshit, you know? And especially if you're a guy, you gotta play, it's money. It's always money. You know what I mean? It's money or your time or your you know, your dignity, your safety. It's always some stupid weird shit. It's like, hell no. That's why I loved when I was having gay relationships, because there was like two guys who were like, we're independent and shit, and we just do what we want to do and shit. But then like gender came up and he told me, he was like, I wouldn't like you if I was a woman. And I was like, okay, cool. I understand. And that kind of like was it for me. I knew what it was. It's just now I have to fucking like today I was supposed to literally be in my hotel room cross-dressing and shit, And fucking father died. Now I'm at my mom's house. And my sister was like, we have all this food and shit, and everybody's here. I'm just like, fuck. Okay, I'll go back to the house. So I'm there now. I'm gonna be there for like probably like a week. But after this, I'm like, I'm gonna go back. Probably not to the hotel. I don't think so. Right away, and because the weather's not too bad. Only when it's like got to rain and shit, just like pour for like a whole week. Because like a whole week last week was like straight rain and shit. So it made sense for me to do that shit. And then what made it worse is like my brother and my sister, my little brother and sister, and my baby cousin and shit. My cousin, they're all about the same age. They fucking like saw my fucking goddamn cross-dressing shit, or at least they saw the fucking goddamn whatchamacallit, high heels and shit. And it just aggravates me because like you could just bought the high heels, you know what I'm saying? You could have got the wrong mail, all types of stupid ass shit. And these niggas, like, that's what I hate about like homophobia. Like that shit can easily. If I told them shit like, "Oh, I saw the high heels, I got the wrong mail," I can tell them that shit, and they'll just be like, "Really, nigga?" You know what I mean? They always make everything into everything. Everything has to be everything. So I'm gonna tell them I got the wrong mail from the post office. I had to go return that shit. Get my mail. Fuck. You know? And I think how they'd be like, oh no, okay. That's why I'm like, I don't like my family like that. I don't like people like that. Like, it just be all up in your business just to be in your business. You know what I mean? But anyways, I hope that, shit, I don't even know right now, but I'm extremely sexually intimidated by women. It's just gender dysphoria. Because I woke up this morning, like I said, I saw this woman and shit, and like, I saw Angela White on the fucking goddamn Reddit, and it was a picture of her getting fucked or whatever, dick, you know, in her pussy, her looking all cute and hot. It was just like, man, yeah, not really, but just like, you know, like, man, I wish I had a vagina. Like, I would know I would love to go through the surgery. Like, if I could snap my fingers type shit, like, you know what I mean? And have a vagina, if I could press a button, have a vagina for the rest of my fucking life. Like, what the fuck? Because you could always do all the drag. You could do drag makeup. You know what I'm saying? You could be, you know what I'm trying to say now? Sexual reassignment surgery, do a drag makeup, you're a woman. You a drag when you walking around, you pull up your skirt, you have a fucking vagina, you're a woman. The fuck you talking about? Nobody's gonna say shit to you. And that's what I'm saying. So that's with that mentality, with that knowing, it's just like, oh, it makes you just kind of, you know, like, oh my god, like, I don't know. That's how you feel, like, oh god, I don't know, I wish. And it starts to hurt. You start to cry because you know you're nowhere even near that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that you should be out here cross-dressing to express your gender because none of these fucking assholes will allow you to do that in peace. You know, you could cross-dress out here. You'll be ridiculed, followed, even stalked, for sure, and rejected. And so that's the reason why it's like, and so when you cross this by yourself, you don't want nobody in your fucking space. And that's just in general. That's just life in general. It's not just a cross-dressing. You're living in a place that's heavily Christian, and you like, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. And they, you know their mentality. You know, I know how religious people get down, how they really get down. Fuck all that religious bullshit. What type of person they really are, based off reality. You know, whatever the fuck, you're gonna be annoyed. You're gonna be like, I don't feel like dealing with these motherfuckers. Yeah, not in my place. Y'all can do all that bullshit out there, but not in here, you know? In my place. And so that's why I had the money right now. I have my own place today, and I'm like, man, I could have fucking, you know, but I ain't too mad. because there's a roof over my head. I'm not homeless right now, so I am grateful for that shit. But I'm gonna have to be homeless again eventually. I mean, this is just like a nice little break. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to be. I'm not. I'm gonna be homeless again. Essentially, I don't see myself like I'm only gonna be here for like a week at most, and then we'll see. I don't want to be there like that. I don't want to be there like that because the shit like this I don't like doing. I should be in my own place, chilling right now, smoking my own weed, cross-dressed. That is my destiny, and I'm getting tired of like, okay, going back to my mom's house for what? For another 6 months and shit to save up, like. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be nice, but what is my future? Where am I actually going? And sometimes I feel like the tumbleweeding effect of things sometimes takes us places where we're supposed to go. You get what I'm saying? Like, you think about it, like, even in Austin, I started off in North Austin, technically speaking. Drove to South Austin, then from South Austin all the way back up to North Austin. You know what I mean? And job sequence wise, when it comes to things like that, it just took me everywhere. But it's like, but at the same time, like I'm saying, is like, if you look at life as a road, you see where it took me. Like I started off, I was supposed to work for Amazon. That shit didn't happen. Then I got like a measly ass job at like fucking Sonic. I was supposed to work at school, but in Round Rock I didn't. And then I ended up working at quitting that and working at Target factory in the perfect, I'm saying like in the middle of. A good place, versus the post office and shit, all that other shit. So I'm saying, so it was like, that's where it ended me up at, and I'm making the most money, and at that time I could afford a good ass apartment, but I didn't do all that shit, right? So that's what I was trying to say, like, is that I could be doing other shit, and that's the thing I'm talking about, like, I'm just tired of not making ends meet. I'm not feeling okay, that's why I was like, and I'm tired also just saving money. Because, like, I feel like people are literally, everybody lives paycheck to paycheck, really. I know it sounds like kind of like, but that's what I feel like. I feel like people are just like, that's what people are doing. Because it's quality of life. Everybody wants to wake up in a nice fucking place. Smoke the months is just the best shit, If you can get the money for it, pay for it, you're gonna do it. So, because it's not gonna happen forever. You're not gonna have that money forever. You know what I mean? Or if you do, real responsibilities, like you always can downsize. You know what I mean? You always can just start saving money later. That's not, because saving money doesn't mean anything. Like, okay, you save money for what? To buy a car, to buy this, buy that. Yeah, but that's a. When you save 6 months, you're gonna fucking, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna spend that money for that 6 months. That's just the truth. And it's probably more. You save 6 months, it's the fucking goddamn habit for a whole year. And so that's what I'm saying. So you want something to have longevity, it's not gonna be a fun ass shit. That shit don't last. So nice shit don't last. Like the nice shit don't last. So if it's not nice shit, it's gonna be struggle, and that's gonna be just basically just life. It's not just always a struggle, some kind of struggle, but just getting up every day and going to work type shit. Like, you know what I mean? If it's not lavish, it's gonna be just work, and that's how you need to look at shit. Instead of like constantly focusing on, like for example, like this nigga got a nice ass house, but he's constantly touring and shit, so he's never at the house. Type shit. Like when you working and shit, you're not really like doing that shit, You're not living a fat, lavish life. And when you fucking get the chance to have that shit, you get to have it, but you're not always doing that shit, even if you come home. So that's why being homeless is about being on the grind and shit. That's why I'd rather just keep on working and shit. But when my days off, I be like, I don't want to be out here. I don't want to be homeless on my days off. I'd rather not be homeless on my days off. That's why I go to A-Leaf Center, but it's like I don't even know where I would go anymore if I wasn't homeless. You know what I'm saying? And shit. I'm just thinking maybe I'll probably go back to like my mom's house. Maybe spend the night on a Friday like today and shit, and then go to work on Saturday and shit. So be with my nephew and shit like that, maybe. That's all I can think of, you know. But I'm talking too much about all that shit. Off subject, and y'all still on here. But I'm just talking about basically like when it comes to being transgender, like I think I'm mentally ready for it, but I just feel like physically I'm not financially I'm not ready for it, and so that's why I feel like, and also life wise, I don't feel like I have what it takes right now. Like I don't have the means of what I need. I don't have the assets and all that shit. But I could be just talking shit. Let me express my feelings right now about that. I really have to express that shit about how I feel with this shit. And yeah. Okay.